Hello everyone, Micah Murphy here, the New Structure Ministries International. I wanted to give a word as we had service tonight, Saturday, because the people are going to be going tomorrow to have Easter with their families. And the Lord, as we worshiped, the Lord brought out quite a few things. But he brought out one thing to me, and he reminded me of 1 Samuel 24. What happens in 1 Samuel 24 is that David goes to number the people, okay? To see how many people he has. I believe he's fixing to go to war of some type. And when he does this, God sends Gad, the prophet, to him. And he says, all right, you have three choices. And David chooses, you can go back in 1 Samuel 24. I just want to teach and just get the main message across. And it says you can be pursued by your enemies for 3 months. You can there can be famine on the land, or the Lord can send a pestilence. Well, what ends up happening is an angel comes. The Lord sends an angel, and he slays 70,000 Israelites. So David realized in his heart what he had did. He trusted in the strength of men and how many people he had, and he literally had to repent, and he went up and he bought. Now, the reason David said, I want to fall into the hand of the Lord because of his tender mercies. Because when the angel was coming to slay Jerusalem, the Lord actually looked at the angel and said, no, stop. You're not going to slay Jerusalem. Because the Lord, in the end, is very merciful, and we're thankful for that. But basically, God, what he did with this angel was he reduced the Israelites by 70,000 people, because he wanted to show David that it's not the strength of how many people you have. So what the Lord showed me, and David went in the story, it's a real, I say the story, but it's a real thing that happened. It's history. He went and he bought a place to erect an altar before God, and the angel was stayed, and the pestilence was stayed, and 70,000 Israelites died. Now, when I was in worship today, the Lord was showing me that in the church, and everyone who's watching, I want everyone to know that just because somebody says church or they say they're a Christian, it doesn't always mean that they are, which is very, very sad. But I saw an angel going through and slaying in the church. Now, it was just a vision in the spirit the Lord was showing me. Is it like he's actually going to kill people, or is it just kind of like spiritual death? I'm just going to leave that up to God. And it was, the Lord showed me, it was because we're numbering the people. And then we have other people here with gifts, prophetic gifts and different things. And we learned, the Lord was showing us that the Lord doesn't want us as his church to be concerned with numbers. So like this whole mega church thing. Now, if the Lord builds a mega church and he does it, and they stay, this is of the Lord. I mean, more power to God, But all this, how many numbers do you have? How many numbers do you have in our church, at your church? How many numbers are at your church? This guy has the biggest church in this state, and this guy has the biggest church. God doesn't want us worrying about that. There's always the people who God really uses. It's always a remnant. If you remember with Gideon, he had a certain number amount of people, and God, he said, now go drink, and the people that drink a certain way, those you're going to take with you. And I think he had 3,000 people at first, and then it went down to 300. And God said, just take these 300 and go. And they won. God's always, he doesn't use the strength of man's arms, or whoever has more people in the battle is going to win. That's not how God does it. God could just speak a word, okay, and the entire army would die instantly, okay? So the point is in church, if Lord, okay, if you're just going to a church and it's big, it's popular, and it's just not much is really happening. People aren't being delivered. People aren't being filled with the Spirit, born again. Revelation, prophetic revelation isn't flowing to constantly move us forward. And it's just a service and you leave, but hey, it's really big, and it's God's not about that. And in fact, God is fixing to show the world that he has a remnant, and that remnant, he's going to give power and authority. It's already happening. It's already happening, and it's coming. And we wrote Joel 3, if you might be interested in that, about beating the plowshares into swords and the prune hooks into spears, because to prepare for war and assemble yourselves. So the Lord's fixing to show off. Now, say fixing, that's just how I talk. Of course, we want everything to happen now, tomorrow, but it's coming. The prophets have been saying it, even if they've not been perfect people. Okay, not all prophets are perfect, but there has been a prophetic spirit from the Lord saying this for 70 years probably. So we're coming into a revival, but the Lord has also shown me that even past that revival, we're coming into a more of a reformation or a restoration of how the church is truly supposed to be built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, the gifts of miracles, healings, etc., and the true apostles' doctrine. And we're going to see some awesome signs and wonders. But God's not into this, mega church stuff unless he builds it and he builds a good church. That's great. But most mega churches that I've seen has been built by the hand of man. And it might have started out good, but something went wrong. And now I don't want to say that to sound prideful. I don't believe pride's in my heart at all when I say this. Have I had pride before? Yes. Could there be more in there? Yes. I'm not sitting here trying to be holier than thou, but I can tell you that God is coming against this thing that man is building that looks a lot like God, and its numbers are growing, but it's not really moving against the enemy in the earth. So that's it. thesonsofgod.net, please, is our website. I have a book on there. I've gone through a lot of stuff lately for myself, but the people that have gotten the book said the book has really helped them. So I'm keeping it up there. Also, you can find this YouTube channel. I'd appreciate it if you haven't yet, get to subscribe, to give us a like, or if you don't like it, even comment. And what that does is the YouTube algorithm, it pushes us out to more people. So With that being said, if you'd like to give a tithe or a first fruit or anything like that, it's all on the website, thesonsofgod.net. So, y'all have a good one. Thank you.